Welcome back. Attorney General Jeff Sessions taking aim at sanctuary cities, charging them with being soft on crime. Well, one of those cities' mayors, New York's Bill de Blasio, had this response to the Attorney General.
It is an unacceptable statement that denigrates the people of New York City and the men and women of the NYPD. If you believe this statement is accurate, come here to New York City, look our police officers in the eye, and tell them that you believe they are soft on crime.
So will de Blasio's challenge do anything about the dangers of sanctuary cities? Joining us now with his reaction, former NYPD Commissioner Bernie Kerik. Nice to see you this morning, Bernie.
Thank you.
On the show. When you heard Mayor de Blasio's statements there to the Attorney General saying, look, this city, our police officers in this city are tough on crime, was he changing the argument here?
No, the police department has a lot to be proud of, the men and women in the NYPD. But this is historical. This has been going on for 22 years. This mayor's only been involved in the city leadership for the last 2. These crime reductions go back to Rudy Giuliani and Bloomberg, me, Ray Kelly, Bill Bratton initially. But the Attorney General has a really good point. And the point is, you cannot not enforce federal law. You cannot say, I'm going to let illegals be in New York City, and I'm not going to enforce federal law. I'm not going to tell you, the federal government, who they are or where they are, or I'm not going to cooperate with the federal government. And that's what he's done. And I think the Attorney General has a good point. You know, you're going to be, that's soft on crime. I believe that. I strongly believe it.
He wrote a piece in the New York Daily News, an opinion piece Mayor de Blasio did. I want to read it to you and see if you believe this or not. He said, last year was the safest in this city's modern recorded history. Last year we had the fewest shootings, we had the fewest robberies, we had the fewest burglaries. When you take major violent and property crimes as a whole, we had the fewest in history. That's what he wrote on the 22nd. Is he doing a victory lap for stuff that's not really his to take a victory lap for?
He's taking a victory lap for the successes of the NYPD, which, as I said, is historical. But you have to look at his overall policies, the mayor's policies. This is a guy who right now, under his leadership, has diminished the policies of Rikers Island. Gangs have taken over Rikers. There's an 18% increase in gang violence on Rikers Island and inmate-on-inmate violence. This is a guy who 2 years ago talked about how he told his son, he has to beware when he goes out in public of the NYPD.
Yeah, he's scared of the police.
He's afraid of the police.
How are the sanctuary cities, this idea of New York City as a sanctuary city, how does that make us less safe in New York?
Well, listen, you have people in the country, in the city, in these sanctuary cities that don't belong here. They're here illegally. They're committing acts of violence. And then you have a mayor that says, we're not going to do anything about it. We're not going to cooperate with the feds. We're not going to tell you who they are. We're not going to tell you where they are. The president and the attorney general has the right to hold back federal funds and say, listen, if you're not going to cooperate, personally, I'm surprised they don't lock people like this up. The mayor and people like this. You cannot violate federal law. You take an oath of office to enforce the federal law in the state of New York and the city of New York. You can't say, except for that law. I'm not going to enforce that.
Commissioner Bernie Kerik, great to see you this morning. Thanks for getting up early with us on this Sunday. Appreciate it.